welcome everybody. So glad to have you here on another edition of 757 House Whisperer. I'm Damian Hall and happy to be here with the experts of the show, waiting your phone calls and questions live here in the WNIS studios. We have from CVP Custom Vinyl Products, Mr. Michael Davenport, Albinco.
Hey, Damian.
Yeah, it's in Albin, right?
That's correct.
All right,
First name Albin, Albinco.
I thought so. When I wrote it down, then I had a brain hiccup for a minute. And Jason with Pyramid Roofing once again. Glad to have you here.
That's Justin, but
Justin, see, I knew that.
Jason's close enough.
The hiccup wasn't finished. Yet. But 608 open phone lines and all about the house this hour, the home, and with the professionals to help you fix it. We've got open phone lines at 627-7979. We've got some trivia questions. We've got some giveaways for everybody who joins the show, so don't wait until the end. 627-7979. Light up the airwaves, and let's talk about the home.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Well, we're here on behalf of Chuck Worley. He is the one, Worley's Home Improvements, Home Services. They have provided this show for everybody to be on. They do plumbing, heating, air conditioning, electrical, crawl space encapsulations, and installation. Along with our show, I'm Michael Davenport. We Custom Vinyl Products, Newport News, Virginia. And I'm going to let the other guys introduce themselves. Go ahead, guys.
Thank you. So my name is Albin with Albinco. I'm out of Smithfield. We do home remodels. We do new home construction. We'll do renovations. Maybe it's a kitchen or a bath, or maybe you want a real fancy outside deck or something like that. So that's the kind of work that we do. But we can also do an entire house gut and just put everything back the way you want it. Justin, what you got?
Yeah, Albin, Michael, glad to be here with y'all fellas. I'm Justin with Pyramid Roofing, Solar and Gutters. Been with Pyramid for 16 years. As Damian said earlier, Jason, it starts with a J. Justin is close enough. Yeah, we're just here to give you honest advice and just be square with everybody.
Yeah, you know what? You got a voice like Damian. I believe you could probably fill in all around here.
Oh, come on now, Michael.
Yeah,
come on.
Nice, smooth voice.
Yeah, but roofers, we're not always the brightest crayons in a box.
I already messed up your name and I've been messing up from the beginning. So,
My great-grandmother called me Jason for her entire life. If it starts with a J, it's close enough.
Yeah.
I forgot to give a trivia question. Michael, you got yours?
Yeah, I got one. Tell me what year that the insulated glass was invented.
Insulated
What
glass.
year insulated glass was invented?
Now,
Good
all
question.
the listeners, some of the listeners, we're not looking for 100-year-olds here, are we? I mean, you're
No,
going back a little ways, buddy.
It's back a little ways. I looked it up. There's two different numbers that were in there.
Did you
by
invent
two
it?
different people? Say what?
Did you invent it?
No, but I almost got the patent in time, but it didn't make it. But the good thing about it is, if I got that patent, you know where I'd be today? It wouldn't
Not
be here.
Not here.
Yeah. So, and for my trivia question, this one's kind of really not a trivia question.
And you can
but
only answer one trivia question,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
pick your best shot.
So Damian brought this up. I thought we'd get a good chuckle at it. So obviously we're not going to be the ones naming the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel, but we thought, well, maybe some people out there got some crazy ideas of what the tunnel name should be. We got a new tunnel coming in. What would if you were actually the one that was going to name the tunnel? What would you name it? I thought it would be a pretty good question. Let's see if we get some good, solid answers on that, or comical ones.
Depending on how you feel about Hampton Roads, you can look at that either way. But my trivia question is actually going to be pretty something simple. If we're talking about just regular architectural shingles, not designer shingles, how many bundles per square?
So
Okay.
when you say bundles,
But
what is it?
for 100 square feet of roofing, which is a 10 by 10 section, how many bundles?
So that's
Does
how
that-
many, like each pack is a bundle?
Yes, not
Okay.
how many's in the pack of bundles, but how many bundles per 100 square feet.
Good question.
Should be pretty
I'm curious
easy.
to see what kind of stuff we get coming up on that one.
Are all bundles the same?
No, well, like I said, as long as we're not talking about the designer series lines, just standard residential architectural shingles, they all have the same amount.
No 40-year type deal or nothing like that.
Most
No
roofers
carriage
are going to come
houses.
up with a very generic answer when you give that question. We're going to blurt it out. So we're going to see if we can get somebody to blurt that out.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
no
well,
presidentials, no carriage houses.
I want to
nothing
blur something out
crazy.
right now. 757-627-7979. That's the number to call.
Yeah, call in because you're going to get a free gift card to Starbucks, correct?
That's correct.
So even if you don't get the right answer, you're going to get a gift
You're
card.
going to get a gift card. And any kind of question you got about something going on with your house, if you got a squeaky floor, if you've got moisture in your crawl space, anything that would be going on in your home, we have people, Worley's Home Services can fix the crawl space, encapsulate it. Also, Sandy Rael with Alpha Pest Control. She's over in Smithfield. She's not on tonight, but she can do those things as well. I mean, we got combined experience, and I may even tell you guys how many years I got.
You can tell us.
I got 51 years.
51 years.
51 years.
You
That's
doubled
great.
me easily.
And how many years you guys got?
Well, 30?
30, so that's 81.
22.
22, 81 is 103 years. Man, we are old. But that experience you're getting for free tonight because we're going to help you through problems and situations that you might need answers for. And remember this, when you call and you ask a question, there are other people, and there are people that have called us off the air, sent a text message. They like that question. They had a question too, but they're a little bashful about calling in, like we're a little bit bashful about being on the air. But the good thing is we're not on TV because that would be embarrassment.
So on your trivia question, so I just was wanting to find out, were the weights in, the weights in the, I don't know what you call it, on the sides of the windows, were they still in play
The
when
pulleys?
the double panes came in, the insulated glass?
when they first came in, the weights were still there.
They were still being used. That's
the glass
crazy.
did not get really used a lot in a residential market until the late 60s, the early 70s. But then you had things like low E glass that started coming in, and the low E glass really made a huge difference because you could tell a difference in your oh, we got a question up there. We got Gary,
Gary.
on. Hey, Gary, how you doing tonight, man?
Hey, hi, how are you guys?
Doing well, thank you.
So you got an answer for the number of bundles per square, huh?
Yeah, I wanted to blurt it out. Like you said, it's 3.
Very good.
That's definitely the winner for, like
ding,
you said,
ding, ding.
residential, normal residential shingles.
So
all
I guess
3
you put a
bundles.
couple bundles up yourself, maybe? You
You
get suckered into helping
not
a
a
buddy
lot.
put a roof on or something like that?
That's how we all get started.
Yeah, not a lot, but more than I probably would have ever wanted to.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, it was probably on the hottest day of the year too, right?
Always is, man.
Right,
Yeah,
right
I
before the
never-
rainstorm.
Yeah, I never did it for a living or anything like that, but yeah, I've helped some people. And back when my son was playing baseball, we re-roofed a dugout or a storage building because it was all leaking and stuff, that kind of stuff.
Well, man, that's great. You
Yeah,
you were
some
giving back
shit.
to the community. That's an awesome thing.
Tell me, do you own your house in Norfolk?
Yes.
What year were your windows put in?
Let's see. When we built an addition, so this is a home over in Larchmont behind Old Dominion,
Okay.
and and I'll tell you the story. It had the old 6/6, double
Yeah.
hung
Yeah.
windows, and we built an addition when my son was born in 1990, and I put aluminum clad wood windows in it with insulated glass, and you could walk from the new part of the house to the old part of the house and just feel the temperature change.
yeah.
And you could walk up to those
Yeah.
old double hung windows and just feel the air coming in, the
Were
cold
those-
air. So about 12 years ago, we did some other renovations, and we put the wood-clad double-hung replacement windows in the old part.
Yeah, those windows that 12 years ago were probably low E glass, I would imagine. Did they remember? You remember them telling you that?
Yeah. Well, no, even the ones 30 years in 1990, those were Geldwin windows. Those were low E.
Wow, that was very unusual in 1990.
Must have been the cutting edge right
yeah,
there, you
because
think?
the low E glass and the first ones that I did, and the guy was an engineer, and he wanted them in his house. They closed on July of 2000. And that was the first time it was coming really into effect. It went into code requirement back in around 2010. And it is a code requirement. You got to have a low U value of 0.35, a minimum. But most anybody is worth their salt gets down to around 0.28 at least. And that just keeps the ultraviolet rays out. And it only really does you good on the east, south, and west sides of your house. It doesn't help a lot in the north because you don't get any radiant sun through there. But they do it all around that anyway. Go ahead, buddy.
The U value is the inverse of R, right?
Yeah.
I got that right? Yeah.
Yep. Well, we got your name and number. We're going to get that card to you, and we're going to go see somebody else here on the screen right now.
Thank
Mike.
you, Gary, for calling
Thanks
in.
a lot, buddy.
Okay.
Winner.
Hey, I love your show. I listen
thank
to
you.
it every Wednesday night.
Thank you.
Awesome.
It's happy because you
Very
called.
cool.
Hey, Michael from Suffolk. How are you doing?
I am wonderful. How are you?
We're doing great. It seems that you got a question for you. Did you also call him with maybe an answer to a trivia?
You know, I missed out on the bundle question.
Well, we'll
and
give
I
you
don't
one
really have-
fun one maybe before we get to your what you want. But hey, if you were gonna actually somebody came up to you and asked you what you would name the new Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel, do you got any kind of name you would give it?
Now we're on air though.
Yeah,
No,
gotta
no,
keep it clean.
We got to be clean here.
Oh gosh.
Well, maybe it would be the Speedy Tunnel. I'm hoping it's a lot faster than the last one, right? So, no, it seems like you got a question about the unlevel foundation or something like that. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah. Hey. So I bought this house. It was built in 1996, and I picked it up in 2013. And the market was turning around. Now we've been in for a few years now, and we have some very interesting depressions where trees were removed before they poured the foundation, and now I've got nice slopes in my floor and then the concrete. And I've seen the commercials for JES and for Hammerjack, whatever the other one is, that they shoot injection stuff underneath to level it that way. But the last guy I had out, and it was interesting, he said to use some kind of a leveling compound over the existing tile to get it all back to a grade. What's the right answer, really?
I'm sorry, the final question is?
So the final question is, what's the right way to do this?
Well, I really think that you're going to have to evaluate it. It's going to be a per case basis. I mean, you could have had a one-time settle of the slab, and everything's going to be okay at that point. I'm guessing if you had somebody that gave you a price on injecting and lifting the slab, which could, depending on how much it settled, cause other issues to arise because now you're moving the house a little bit, so you may have some drywall repair and things like that. It's probably going to help your doorways if it's near your doorways. But your simplest fix, probably if you feel like it was a one and done kind of settling, is to go in there and maybe put some type of self-leveling compound down. It's definitely going to be the cheapest option, but that's not potentially could be a guaranteed fix. My thought is if you want to take the risk, use a leveling compound. If you're like, no, I don't want to take the risk and I really want to make sure that it's done and done right and only once, go ahead and get somebody in there to put some type of two-part injection mold, the foam, the structural foam that would lift that foundation, the slab, and get it back where it needs to be. So anybody else got any put on?
Well,
that?
I was going to ask you, Albin, if we're doing that, how many cans of spray foam do I need?
Yeah, right. A lot, because it's probably not going to help a lick if you do that.
I'm just messing around.
they have some really neat stuff with that, but I'm thinking that self-leveling compound. How much settling have you had?
How big is your depression in the slab?
Yeah, that would be the better question. Thank you, Michael.
I would say about an inch.
An inch? Over how long of a period of time?
96, so 20-ish years.
So it sank an inch over the course of 20 years, or you noticed it sink an inch sometime in that point? I mean, I'm just kind of getting an understanding of the duration. Did it just now show up, or it's taken 20 years for an inch to show up?
Yeah. Or did that happen 15 years ago?
Yeah, did it happen 15 years ago and it's been like that? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I would guess it's been gradually over time. It was noticeable when we moved in and I had to replace the toilet, and I realized that I needed like a ton of shims in the front and none in the back.
Ah.
So.
Yeah, yeah. I would say you know your best bet is to we can carry this conversation on off air. I've got your number. We'll give you a call, and we can talk through more of the details to try to get to the bottom of this. See if there's some voids under the slab, or maybe you have some grading issues, and maybe some of the dirt under the slab is moved, or maybe you've got a leak underneath your slab that's carrying away some of the soil. There could be a bunch of things going on.
Where in Suffolk are you located?
I'm right on the edge of Suffolk and Portsmouth there on Apple Street. So.
Okay, there's a lot of difference in the requirements of the building inspectors today than there was back in that day. The slab could have had not enough compression for as packing before the concrete was poured for the slab, and you had a little belly that was a little soft. The weight of the concrete caused that to pack down. Have you ever noticed any cracking? I mean, substantial cracking in the slab if you had a carpet up or something like that? You ever noticed that before?
So I haven't had the carpets up or the hardwood floating floors out either, and I haven't seen any cracks through the tile to speak of.
Okay, well, no cracks in the tile is great, because if it had been fairly substantial, those tiles would have cracked. They would have cracked right through the center of the tile, depending on how big it is. So I think that you have something that is in appearance not favorable, but structurally probably isn't the end of the world. But like Albin said, he could make a phone call, have a little chat with you, give you a little bit of self-assurance as to what your situation is. But I would think that it's not something that's going to be near the end of the world for you.
Well, that's reassuring. I appreciate it.
Okay, man. You have a great evening, and we appreciate the call, buddy.
Thank you, Michael.
All right, thank you. Bye.
So, some more questions on that, the glass window stuff. And so just to everybody remember, so this is the 757 House Whisperer show. And if you want to reach us, you can give us a call at the show tonight at 627-7979. That's 627-7979. Call us, please. Tell us what's going on. And, if you got some issues at your house that you need maybe an expert to, we got a roofing expert here, we got a window expert here. I'm your
structural
home remodel kind of expert. Maybe you got something going on at the house in a bathroom or a kitchen. Guy just called in with some foundation stuff that he needs some attention on. But most of this stuff usually comes down to water issues, humidity issues, and we got. We maybe even got a question about your air conditioning and all that stuff. Whatever. We'll call in. We'll try to help you out. So
that's the truth. And don't forget, you can get us online at 757housewhisperer.com. That's 757housewhisperer.com.
Oh, and by the way, you can also go to YouTube and you can watch our older shows if you feel like you missed out. They're there too.
I didn't even know we were.
Oh yeah, every show is out there on YouTube. So yeah,
that's real cool.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But so on the windows again. So that guy was calling in. He was talking about the 6/6. You think that when did they start doing solid panes instead of doing like every single one was a separate pane? This is really fascinating stuff about windows because it kind of went through a transformation over the years.
I know. And I'll tell you this: in the house I grew up in, with those separate little panes where you'd have 6 or 8, they're all blown glass, so it had little wiggles and squiggles and bubbles.
And those ones, when we replaced windows in a house that had the hand float or blown glass, I had a guy, his house was built right after the Civil War,
Yeah.
And his windows were huge. They were like 4 foot wide and 6 foot tall because they had no AC.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, hey, man, I said, you want us to take these sashes away? He said, well, you told me you're going to take all these old windows away. I said, well, if I was you, I would put sashes on eBay.
Oh, yeah.
And because artists love to paint on those sashes. And he had 40 windows. And he decided he was keeping the sashes. And he sold those sashes for $50 a piece. And the guy came and paid him cash for them. He lived in Suffolk.
I bet it.
And he asked the guy, once he got his hand in his pocket and all the sashes were loaded, he said, what are you going to do with all these? He said, man, I'm embarrassed to tell you, but I sold them to an artist lady in Michael's Island over in Maryland. And she gave me $100 a piece. So all I had to do was ride down here today and ride back. And I said, what'd you say? He said, I wasn't upset.
Everybody's happy then,
Everybody's
right? So
happy.
the artist is happy. He got a little bit of money out
Yep.
of it, and the man got rid of him. So that's cool.
Okay, we're going to go to a break right now.
Yeah, and we'll be right back with more from 757 House Whisperer. Find out more online or get your free consultation scheduled, 757housewhisperer.com. And we'll be right back right after the break. News Talk 790 WNIS.
I got to tell you.
Welcome back, everybody. 6:35. We're live and local here. It's News Talk 790 WNIS with 757 House Whisperer. More information at 757housewhisperer.com, or you can get in touch with any of the guests on the show and get your home taken care of by the professionals that you listen to right here every Wednesday from 6 to 7 on News Talk 790 WNIS. We're here this hour. We've got Michael, Albin, and Justin here for the next 24 minutes to take your calls, questions, get you some gift cards as well as some giveaways with some trivia questions that the gentlemen have prepared for you on this 757 House Whisperer show. Welcome back, gentlemen.
Yeah, the show is sponsored by Worley's Home Services. They do plumbing, heating, air conditioning, electrical. They do crawl space encapsulation, and they do all kinds of attic insulation, whether it's blown or whether it's foam. My name is Michael Davenport. I'm with the Custom Vinyl Products. We do windows and doors right here in the coastal Virginia area. We go up into Richmond, Northern Neck, and down as far as Elizabeth City, down into Pungo. We are the only local manufacturer of windows. We use Therma-Tru doors, which is a very high-quality, nice door. We stand behind our product, and we do all of our own installation. Everybody that works for us is a W-2 guy. That means they're an employee, not a subcontractor from who knows where. The 757housewhisperer.com, or call us at 757-627-7979 tonight to get your answers for your questions. And I'm going to turn it over to the other guys to introduce themselves. Go ahead, guys.
Hey, Michael, before we move on, what was the trivia question for you?
Okay, the trivia question I had was, and researching, there was two different, it was a conflicting story, but one that was the most known. Give me the name of the guy that developed the thermopane window, also called insulated window. It's two pieces of glass held together by a product in the middle. It's a day that has air in it, argon, and it is used exclusively today. So if you can figure out who might that be, you get a Starbucks gift card. I need his name and approximately when it was. So go ahead.
Thank you, Michael. So my name's Albin. I'm with Albinco. We specialize in new home construction, remodels, kitchen remodels, bath remodels, additions, and so we'll also do demolition of an entire house, put you a brand new one back there if you need it. And so my trivia question was kind of aligned with the Hampton Roads and all the construction we got going on here. I thought we'd make a little bit of humor of it. So my question is, maybe it'll be twofold here. We were throwing around the idea of what kind of names people might come up with for the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel, the new tunnel that's coming in. Maybe you got something that you'd want to be considered. Or for all you designers out there, that people that are really creative, maybe you got a color you'd like to see on the inside of that tunnel, give us a shout here at the show, 627-7979. That's 627-7979, the 757 House Whisperer. So go ahead and take it away, Justin.
Thank you, Michael and Albin, both. Glad to be here with you. Now, I will say I'm Justin Murphy with Pyramid Roofing, Solar and Gutters. Been with Pyramid going on 16 years now. Now, my trivia question has already been answered, but I guess I can throw another one that's still pretty easy. But for one shingle, what is the city code on the amount of nails per shingle, per full shingle?
Is it one?
No, we're not going to get into some stories, but yeah. Using a nail gun, how many for a full-size shingle, how many nails per one shingle?
Side question. There's a video online, and I know that you've seen it. If not, I can probably find it in the next 20 minutes until the show's over. But of roofing people out there peeling off the old roof with absolutely zero nails in it.
Oh, yeah. No, I've seen that on a regular basis.
You've seen that?
I've done it. You grab.
Wait, you laid down. You were the one who did it.
No, I didn't.
I didn't. First job he ever did.
Right. And the last one, right?
No, I went. Well, so when I first started roofing, I was the guy on the bottom. I cleaned up all the trash. I put all the shingles on my back, toted them up the ladder. Since, my days of doing that are kind of over. But I have torn off some shingles where you just go over to the rake edge, grab the rake edge, and start pulling, and you'll end up with half a roof.
That's crazy.
Then you got to break it apart because you can't throw it off the roof. It weighs too dang much. Wow. But I've seen a lot of things out there. If you got any questions or anything like that, please give us a holler.
Justin, what's that kind of on the edge pitch on a roof where you're like, hey, over this, it's not what we consider walkable. Like, I know there's that special figure in there, but I guess some of those roofers out there maybe have some more skill than others. So
it's a case by case basis, depending on, I guess,
what's on the roof.
That in how sure you are of yourself if there's algae. But normally an 812 is kind of the borderline between safety.
So
now I've walked some 10s.
Yeah.
Now, what does that mean for the lay person like myself? That means nothing to me.
It's kind of it's the angle of the roof,
like 40 degrees.
Well, it's easier to explain it by, every 8 inches in, or excuse me, I take that back. Every 12 inches in, you'll have 8 inches of rise. I got that one way backwards.
So if you wanted to know it in angles, it would be 33, basically 33 and a half degrees.
Okay.
So if somebody for an 812, that is.
Okay. So if somebody's wondering, take a 90-degree angle, which is a right angle, and then cut that into a third, where that's roughly what you're talking about.
Well, cut it in half, and that'll be a 12-12.
Sure.
And
45.
And I'll bet you most of your roofs you're doing are more in probably the 8 and under 6 law. I bet you do a ton of 612s, huh?
It really depends on the area. A lot of the custom homes these days, they're pretty, but they're in a nightmare. They're all cut up is what we call it in the industry, just a bunch of different facets and different slopes.
Yeah, on my house I have a 12-12, and I really wish
don't call me.
So I really wish I would have went somewhat a different direction on that. For you guys considering building new, you may want to think about not the roof you're putting on today,
the one you have
but
to
the
replace.
One that you got to put on 20 years, 25, 30 years from now.
Albin, that is a great comment, because even my own personal house, now I've got a 1-story brick ranch, 612. It has a new roof on it, but my thoughts are, it may need to get replaced sometime, and a 612 it's just money in the bank.
It's a perfect pitch to work off of. It sheds off. It looks nice. Mm-hmm. Maybe if you're like, 6 is too small, maybe go to the 7, but you start going into the 8, 9,
10s.
Your roofer's going to charge you more. They're not going to like talking to you, or, they may not say, they may have thoughts in their heads that are like, I got to do this roof. Well, not only that, if it was like maybe a 3-story, 4-story, then you're like,
so that's where we get better. If y'all go down to like Shore Drive, the corner of Shore Drive, and I think it's Great Neck, you got 4-story buildings that are mansard, basically. Straight walls. I've been on them. They're not fun. I don't want nothing to do with them.
I've seen that, similar to like Regent University.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
it's steep.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy. Talk a little bit about Worley's Home Services. They are a premier home services company. They have over 70 employees.
I think he said 80 to me this morning.
He may.
Yeah.
But they got trucks on the road. Their trucks are very distinctive, like their owner. It's a green, it is orange, and it is white.
Yeah.
And it's his logo says
Worley Home Services. So
yeah, but
he's got all kinds of stuff on there. It all kind of catches everything on there.
Something. See the brand, see the van, trust the brand. Worley's Home Services.
Yeah. That. Mm-hmm.
I like it.
And then of course we have Tommy.
Tommy Hines.
If you're needing some financing, you're sitting here thinking, I got some repairs to do, and this show's kind of tickling your brain about that. We've got Perfect Home Remedies. He can get you hooked up with some financing on your next project. With all the inflation going on, some of these little projects that were easy for us long ago it was very expensive. And then we got a termite lady that just recently joined us. What's her name again?
Alpha Pest Control.
Alpha
and
Pest Control.
Rowell. And she is sharp. She is a woman-owned business. Her 5 boys work for her, a couple of daughter-in-laws, I think she said. She told me that her husband helped her get started in business. I said, what did he do? She said, he got my business cards. I said, that was it? She said, that's all I needed, give my business cards. And she has got a bang-up business over in Smithfield. She'll give you a free inspection of your crawl space. The crawl space it's no place that people like to go, but it's a place, and I'm sure you'd agree, Albin, it's a place where the damage can happen and get bad before you even know it.
Yeah, it's all these kind of things kind of hinge around one thing. I always say water. Water is our enemy.
Yeah.
Water's going to be the problem with the roof. Water's going to be the problem with the old windows. Water's going to be the problem with the foundation. Water's going to be problem with the remodels. You got damage to your walls because either your refrigerator water line leaked, or your dishwasher leaked, or whatever. So it all comes down to that moisture and humidity. Even in the air conditioning systems that you're dealing with that are maybe failing, you're starting to see mold and mildew, and you're like, what's going on? Chuck can come out there and help you through a lot of those issues, figuring out, well, is your air conditioning on its last leg and it's causing this, the air conditioning is either not blowing right or it's not pulling the humidity out of the air. All those things just kind of boil down to giving us all the griefs that we have in the life of a house.
Yeah, and the issue with roofing can be you get a roof done and the guy that's doing your roof is not flashing it properly. And then you get water coming in behind the siding, and that can go years and you don't know it until you see mold on the inside and you touch a sheetrock, and the only thing holding the sheetrock together is a layer of paint on the inside.
Your finger goes right through it.
You got to get it straight. We're going to go to a break right now for a few moments, and then we'll be back with you and get ready to wind this show up. Let somebody give us a call.
Yeah,
answer these trivia questions.
627-7979.
Couple more gift cards to give away before the end of the show. Less than 12 minutes left, so join us. 627-7979, or if you need a consultation, go online to 757housewhisperer.com. 757housewhisperer.com. We'll be right back right after the quick break on News Talk 790 WNIS. To the home stretch. It's now 6:50 here on this live Ask the Expert show. We're here with 757 House Whisperer, 757housewhisperer.com. Mike's here with CVP Windows, Albin with Albinco, and Justin with Pyramid Roofing. Welcome back, gentlemen.
Hey.
Thank you, Damon.
It's great to be here tonight. Wonderful evening. WNIS listeners, we're glad you're here listening. I'm Michael with CVP Windows and Doors. Our territory is all over the peninsula, the south side. That's, Hampton, Newport News, on the peninsula, Poquoson, York County, James City County. Then we're going south, down into the Portsmouth, Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, and then down in the Outer Banks, Elizabeth City, Northern Neck, and up to Richmond. We are the only manufacturer, and we got a guy here with a question or an answer to the question.
Answer to your
question.
question.
And bring him on. It's a girl, Virginia. Are you there, Virginia?
Yes, I'm here. Hello.
Hey there. How you doing?
Good. So I wasn't sure, is it double glazed windows or double pane windows?
Well, double pane windows, they're also called thermopane windows, and are also called insulated windows. You got a time frame and who might have done that?
Mr. Charles D. Haven, somewhere around the 1930s.
Wow. You got winner, chicken dinner.
Wow, good job.
That's a good job. And that has been the beginning of one of the biggest quality questions about conserving energy that this country's had, because they have improved these windows, and now we produce a window. You'll see a lot of interstate getting apartments built next to them now. There's one that we're doing for the Breeden Corporation right off of 64 in Norfolk, and it is right at the interstate, but they have what's called a STC window in those buildings, and you can go in those buildings. We did one for Clancy and Thays over next to the Lesnar Bridge on Shore Drive, and you can be in that building and look out, and the interstate is just 15, 20 feet, or Shore Drive was, and you can be in there and just talk at a normal tone. And when you raise that window up, it's so loud you can't even hear yourself think.
That's crazy.
So that is crazy.
I am kind of curious though, Virginia. How did you find that information? Are you in the window industry, or maybe you're in some type of building science work, or maybe you just kind of Googled it?
The Google did it.
Good job.
Well,
good job.
That's a winner either way.
Research is what it's all about,
card,
Virginia.
So
We got your name and number. I'm sure we'll get that card out to you, and I appreciate your call.
Awesome.
We're going to slide to Reggie right now, if we could, and see what he's got in line. Reggie, how you doing, buddy?
Great. Hope you all having a good night.
We're having a great night.
I've been out in my house in Suffolk for about 15 years, and for about the last 3 years, carpenter bees are killing me.
Oh man!
What can
Let me
I
tell
do
you,
about
those carpenter bees will tear some stuff up. And
Quick.
what is your question about the carpenter bees? How to get rid of them?
Yes.
So one of the things that is a preventer of that is you definitely want to have your wood wrapped with metal. Obviously, there's damage there, so you may want to think about kind of replacing the damage that's there. The carpenter bees don't like to eat through paint. So if stuff is painted, they love raw wood. You're going to find them mostly on the sunny sides of your house. They love to be on the sunny side of the house. But I do have a couple tricks up my sleeve about how to actually combat them. But I think Justin's got some stuff on that.
More just to be funny than anything. The best weapon for those carpenter bees is definitely like a tennis racket.
Tennis racket, yes.
Take them clean
a
out.
big one.
Well,
Big tennis racket.
At your local hardware store, you can buy a carpenter bee trap. I have one that hangs up my mailbox every year, and I don't like killing stuff, but those guys are bringing it on themselves. It's a trap that has a little round hole in it, and they go into it, and they go down into a jar underneath, and there's no way for them to get out. And it looks like when they see 5 of their buddies in there already going on to their maker, if that's the case, they would not go in that hole, but they go anyway.
Well, let me tell you this. That the real trick to that is, because, even as builders and stuff like that, we kind of make our mistakes, is I've had like 6 or 8 of those traps out, and, they love decks, and they love raw wood, and they love the hot side of the house. And what I didn't realize, I was setting these traps in the shade. Those traps need to be facing the sun. So when you do look up a carpenter bee trap, you can make them. If you're handy enough, you can actually get some 4x4s and cut it down and drill the holes and get you some old, what do you call those, canning jars or whatever.
Yeah.
But you set it up right, that sucker will catch some bees. But really,
I got another solution for you.
Yeah,
if you want another one.
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah,
Damien.
yeah, and just another solution. One that is not actually killing them. You're just kind of getting them away from you. Is you can get go to any of your feed stores and you can get a large bottle of what's called permethrin. And permethrin is the active ingredient that's also used in like flea collars.
Yeah, a lot of people put it on their clothes and stuff when they're out in the woods.
It's great
a little
for that.
safer than bug spray.
Yeah, than DEET. It's less damage. It's supposedly better for you than DEET, but in liquid form, be careful if you have cats because it's toxic to cats while it's in liquid form. But as soon as it dries, it's fine. And it actually, if you spray it on your clothes, it'll stay in your clothes for a number of washes too. So permethrin works. Or if if everything hits the fan, you can actually take a sprayer, and EPA won't like this, but if you mix diesel fuel and used motor oil, that's what they used to use back in the 30s and 40s to preserve wood.
Fun fact about those bees, and I could be wrong. Somebody could call in and correct me on this, but they lay their eggs. Those eggs will stay in the actual borehole until the next season,
spring.
And then they hatch, and that's where those suckers are coming from.
Yeah.
And then they'll go and use that same
that way
hole.
They can't get out.
Man, those
I
suckers
stuff
can do some
tinfoil.
damage.
Yeah,
I stuff little balls of tinfoil in the holes. Yeah, you're right.
Don't try to catch them with your hands. They will bite.
They will bite you
They'll
bad.
bite
I think it's
bad.
the female that bites and the male doesn't.
Well,
One's
I'm
more.
not going more.
I'm not.
about it.
I don't
One's
care
more
which
of
one.
an intimidator than so. But yeah, that tennis racket is.
We got a gift card coming to you, Reggie. Appreciate your call, man. Justin, tell us a little bit.
Yeah, thanks, Reggie.
Yeah, so getting back, it's Pyramid Roofing Siding, Pyramid Roofing Gutters and Solar. We actually have 3 offices. One's up in Williamsburg. We got another down in Hampton, and then we have a south side location. Our region basically goes from the south of Richmond down into North Carolina. I'll actually be in Gates tomorrow. And then we also do go as far as west as, we're not going to go out to Emporia or anything like that, but we'll go Carsville.
What about Richmond? From your Williamsburg office, it's not far.
I will say case-by-case basis. The reason for that is Richmond is saturated kind of in the roofing market, a lot more commercial side of it for the high-rises and, stuff like that. So, I mean, we'll go. I will never turn down a lead at all. We'll go, but it's not as frequent as everywhere else.
Well, I tell y'all, we have had a great time tonight. On behalf of myself, Michael Davenport, and my partner, Barry Taylor, we are the owners of CVP Windows and Doors. We'd love for you to give us a call. Let us know what we could do to help you out. These other 2 guys are top-notch people. Remember, we have, just sitting here tonight, we got over 100 years in the construction business in one form or another.
Now, does it count that you take most of that experience?
Yeah, it's because I'm old, man. It's because I'm old.
I'm messing with you, Michael.
Yeah, well, hey, you don't need to mess with me. I know I am. So we're going to wrap it up tonight. Thank you so much for everything. Let's close out with Chuck's favorite song.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. See you here next Wednesday.
Yes, sir. See you then, Damien.
See, there's life after Chuck.
The preceding program was sponsored and paid for by Worley Home Services, who's entirely responsible for its content.